Welcome everybody to the Scott County Lady Cards News Graphic Coaches Show. I'm here with Coach Steve Helton. And Coach, whirlwind trip to Texas and back, to say the least. Probably in the span of what, 4 days? Play 3 games, see a lot of sights, and here we are again.
As fast as we could go, life on a bus. And it was a great trip though. Really, we've traveled over the past 17 years. We've traveled around the southeastern part of the United States and seen and played in some of the biggest tournaments that have been put on for girls. And from top to bottom, talent-wise, this is probably the most talented tournament we've ever been to.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at that thing in advance and seeing all the consensus top 100, top 200 teams in the country that you could have potentially matched up with, and they didn't do you any favors with your bracket either. you saw some of the best.
From the beginning, we knew what we were getting into going into it, but we wanted to see where we were, and we got a good gauge. I don't think we played particularly well. I'll be honest with you, we played it out of character. I know I use that a lot, but we were just not the team that left Kentucky playing. It didn't transfer to Texas. We played hard.
Yeah.
We did play hard, so it wasn't an effort issue. It was just some of the decisions we were making. And you can talk a 15-hour trip and life in a hotel room and late night pizza. But again, it really did give us an idea where we were.
Yeah, you and I were talking back and forth, and you said we looked tired, and I'm like, well, I'm tired just thinking about what you guys were up against that week. But how is the basketball that you saw? You saw teams from the Houston, Texas area. You saw 3 of them. I got the impression they were big and strong, at least one of them in particular.
Extremely athletic. Yeah. Every team down there that we either scouted or watched or was preparing to play, extremely athletic. Then they took athleticism to a whole new level because they added skill with it. They had athleticism, skill, and then size. So they really had a good balance. The first team we played was extremely athletic, a great comparison to a lot of teams in our 11th region. Second team we played, not quite as deep, but they were 6'5", 6'6", inside, and then they had a 2-guard that was going to Stephen F. Austin. So we tried to slow the inside down with their 6'5", 6'6" kid and their 6'2" kid, 6'1", and then they had a 5'5" guard that we had trouble containing. Then you go to the next game, and they have everything. They have size, they have depth, they have good guard play, they have good post play. Just a really good tournament as far as the talent, the skill. From top to bottom. I keep saying, a lot of times you go to these tournaments, you'll have 2 or 3 gibbies in there. A terminal giveaway. They'll invite the hometown team. Well, the hometown team happened to be the number 2 team in the country, and they got beat on their home court. So that tells you, how good this tournament was. A great learning experience for something we can bounce back on and say, this is who we have played. And so far nobody in Kentucky that we've seen from top to bottom. And we've not seen the Butlers and we've not seen the Males and the Manuals. We'll see Manual later on, but it'll be a comparison we can draw as our season continues.
Yeah, that's the thing I think the boys kind of noticed too in Myrtle Beach was you see these scores and you feel like you come up short, but you look at the big picture and say, have we really played anybody like that? And we were right there with them. I mean, that's got to be a good feeling going forward.
And we had our team, first game, we had a big lead first game, kind of let it slip away, and, we just kind of hung on. We hung on for the win. Malia went down with an ankle, and I think we were all taking a deep breath until she bounced back on the bench, and everybody kind of took a deep breath when they knew it was just her ankle. In the second game, we were down 1 at half. No, we were up. We were up second game. And in that third game, we were down 1. Or vice versa. We were down 1 second game. We were up in the third game at halftime. So we were there throughout. There was never a game when we were out of the game or we felt like that. Well, we're just overmatched here. We played hard. It just seemed like some of our decision making on the break, it never did really come together. We didn't shoot the ball well down there. And, you don't shoot the ball, you don't get in transition, you don't get as many shots up, everybody starts looking around in panic. And again, and we've came back, and what that's allowed us to do, we've worked on a lot of half-court stuff because at some point, again, I've said it over and over, we're going to get a half-court game, and we're going to have to execute. It was good for our coaches too to see, oh, this is something we really need to work on, because when you're running, getting 89 shots a game, it's great. It's great to watch. It's great to coach in. But at some point, you're going to have a night where you shoot. I believe we shot 25%, 24% one night, and wow, that's tough.
The deeper you get into a season, the more film there is out there, the more other teams get to scout you. They're probably going to try to get you into that half-court game because they know that maybe isn't your favorite thing to do.
That's our kryptonite right now. That's our kryptonite. I just feel like our half-court execution's got to be better. Again, I'd love to come out and get 80, 90 possessions, 80, 90 shots a game. It's not always going to be there. Not to say that it can't be, some games, but again, as the competition gets better, it gets stronger. The run we're getting ready to go into right now, 7 games in 9 days. We're going to see some good coaches. We're going to see some good teams. Teams are going to have scouted. And it's just like practice. They know it's coming, but it's got to stop it. So hopefully we'll be able to handle that a little bit better as we get back home and start playing 11th region.
Yeah, it's an interesting stretch because you had that crazy trip, in a short span. Then you had kind of 8 days a week at home at least to practice and kind of work on the things that you saw. And then again, as you said, another 7-game and 9-day stretch. How important is that practice segment in the middle of that? I'm sure it's vital.
It's huge because as much as I love to practice, 2 games here, both games on the road. Sunday, we're going to come in, kind of get our legs back under us, have a brief shoot around, come right back, have 2 11th region games back to back Monday, Tuesday. Have to take, Wednesday to shoot around because we've already played 4 games in 5 days. Now we're getting ready to play our last 3 out of 4, and 2 of those are on the road, and 2 of those to Cooper and the Fairdale, where we'll play Greene County. Pretty good road trips, and squeeze in Perry Central, who's averaging about 95 a game right now, in the middle of that here at home. So it's going to be a good test for us. When we talk about our depth, our depth is really going to have to come to the forefront during this period. Really, looking forward to playing. I think the kids want to play. I want to practice, but they want to play, and so we'll go from game plan to game plan. We won't look ahead. It'll be a lot of adjustment for a lot of these young kids who haven't put this kind of game here. We so far this season we've played a game, had a few days off. We played a game. This will be now. We're going to make adjustments during the game. Yeah. And so we'll see how we respond.
Yeah, you start off, you play a district game at Bryan Station on Friday night. Before you left for Texas, you compared one of those teams, the first team you saw down there, I think, to them in some ways stylistically. Does that kind of help you a little bit that you've seen that getting back into that pace, and you've seen another team that has that pace and maybe that athleticism ramped up even more?
It helps us to know what we don't want to do. We did get a big lead on West Side. Kind of let us slip back. We kind of relaxed a little bit, didn't take care of the ball. Missed a few what I call gimmies in the paint, and next thing you know, a bad shot turns into an easy layup down the road. Bryan Station, huge district game, huge regional game. The team ended our season last year, and I don't know. The kids are resilient. They forget about it, and they move on. I've been sitting on that for a while, and I'll admit it. I walked off the court when their coach said, "I told you we were going to do it," and that still it sets with me. I go to bed thinking about it, and so on Friday we'll have an opportunity to play a very good team on their home court. They play well at home, so. Big challenge.
We've talked about that in the past. People love to put Scott County in the middle of that little bullseye. And when you go to the regional 15 years in a row or whatever it was, and the team gets to knock you off, they like to pat themselves on the back, beat their chests a little bit, but you don't forget.
No, the kids, they're 14, 18-year-old kids. They're going to remember a lot more about high school basketball. About going to Texas, about going to Cowboy Stadium. Whereas from a coaching standpoint, I remember games that we lost back in the 8th region. But this one, I guess because it was our last one that really kind of ended on a sour note. You remember, and you can't. you don't want to transfer that over to the kids, but it's something from a coaching standpoint that you think, what should we have done? What can we do different this time? And they're a very good team on their court. They shoot the ball well. We've scouted them, they've scouted us. But for some reason, we always get a different Bryan Station when we play them. They're up for us, and they'll be fired up for us.
In any sport, I think, whether or not it's your district, your region, your division, your conference, if you get beaten in the playoffs by a team that you've had some success against in the past, you go back to the drawing board a little bit, don't you? You say, okay, what haven't we been doing? What can we do differently? It's going to motivate you through however long that off season is.
And that's something it's a sore spot. It's a big sore spot, and that happened on our home court. And again, as a regular season, we had defeated Station twice during the regular season. In that third game, which the cliche is, it's hard to beat a team 3 times, and that cliche came to facts. And this game, it's not like, again, I refer back to the football playoffs. It's not going to make us or break us. But it sure would be nice to play well in that first game of a 7-game stretch, because then that next night you go to Nelson County, which has one of the best point guards in the state of Kentucky. They're playing extremely well. Come back Monday and Tuesday against 11th region opponents, and anytime 11th region teams get together, that's their bragging rights there. Rankings, people want to kind of see where you're at. They want to see if the rankings are there. They want to see if you're that good, and at the same time, we want to see where we're at. Mid-January, big stretch. Then we go into the Toyota Classic. We're really excited about that. So these practice days very important for us. We got to keep our conditioning. I think sometimes we get lax on our conditioning. We've got to keep our conditioning because we're going to have some fourth quarter runs where we're going to have that second gear.
Interesting you mentioned rankings, because they came out this week. Some of those rankings you're talking about, and Scott County was in the top 10 and very close second, I believe, in the region. But how, as a coach, do you deal with that? Do you mention it at all? Does it ever come up in conversation with players? Or do you try to get them to steer them away from it so they're not paying too much attention?
The way we handled it this year, it's good. We talked to them yesterday in a team meeting. It's good to be relevant again. But relevance comes with that big target. People want to be the one who says you're not that good. We already have that when we go on the road. When teams come in here, they want to be the team to beat Scott County, whether it's boys, football, baseball, volleyball, whatever the sport is. Our soccer teams want to beat us. Yeah. They want to, no matter what it is. So the way we handle it is, what's it worth? Nothing. It has nothing to do with the outcome. Those rankings don't score a basket. They don't play defense. But at the same time, I think for some of these young kids, it's good to see the level of program this is. Expectations are high every year. Yeah. Rankings are for the experts who put a number on there, and I'm sure not an expert. I'm just an old country boy who wants to play ball and I want to win. But I do think the kids need to understand that, hey, we're playing at a high level. We've got to take our intensity to another level every night. We've got to be able to, what we call, weather the storm, because everybody's going to come out fired up to play us, which is good. I mean, and that means there's a lot of respect for our program. But the history behind it, it's good for these kids to be relevant in the realm of things.
One thing with the schedule coming up, these Saturday road trips to some of these neutral court type sites. I mean, what do you gain from those? Is that kind of prepare you for the long-term playoffs and things like that? Showcase
events meant to showcase our program, individuals, kids will be out there to play. There'll be games going all day. There'll be a lot of experts. There'll be a lot of scouts. There'll be some college coaches there, just to get us to play in a regional type setting. That's all those are. Again, we'll play some good competition from this Saturday at Franklin County and next Saturday at Fairdale.
There will be a lot to talk about next week, and we will be back here to join you. Until next time, thank you, Coach Helton, and we'll see you on the sideline.